So I'm going to just kind of overgloss what went on today. We went out to eat. After that, we went to Rulers, grabbed stuff for the house, came back to J.C. Penney's, took some pictures on my Instagram of stuff that I thought was really adorable. I thought that country motif and being inspirational, which uplifts spirits and uplifts the personality and makes you feel better just to read something that you should be grateful for everything you have and not take for granted anyone or anything in your life because it could be gone as soon as tomorrow. And I found those really nice, but they were really expensive. Some of the things in there you really have to watch at JCPenney's. Just because they're going out of business does not mean you're getting a bargain. Then we came home and did some yard work. As you all seen, Grandpa used the rider and I decided to use the push mower, which is Big Daddy Wheeler, named after Rip Wheeler. So I went Beth Dutton on that lawn, let me just say. Anyway, uh, I went out there and I used the push mower as much as I could. I realized that we need to do some re-landscaping of different areas in the yard, which hopefully this summer we can conquer that after I put the flowers in and, get it ready for spring. But we usually wait till around Mother's Day. But I was happy to point out, if you didn't watch the walk around the yard, the morning glories are coming up. And that's an inspirational thing for me, truly, because it means to me that A, my planning worked, B, the coffee grounds clearly worked. That's why they're coming up so good, because we had that little snow, so there was a possibility of them not coming up at all. Let's not forget that. The next thing I would say, the battery that I put in the lighthouse, which if you've seen the lighthouse and I had told you we were going to see how that worked, well, when I went to go take the trash out, it clearly did not work. And I told my mom about it, and she's like, well, you have to use a rechargeable battery in order to make it work. I said, well, those are expensive. You can't just buy those at Dollar Tree. She's like, you got a point. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it might pay me just to replace the solar lighthouse altogether next paycheck rather than get an $8 battery for like a $20 object, So it's kind of disheartening, and I was really hoping that $1 battery would make it go, but it didn't even turn it on. Now, it's got some years on it. It's about, oh goodness, 8 to 9 years old. So I've got my usage out of it, and it originally came from the Lakeside Collection. So, I mean, it's good quality stuff. It's just disheartening and disapproving that it's not working for me right now. You know what I'm saying? That part was awful. Other than that, it was fun taking those old-fashioned shears to the bush. But my mom, when she seen the video, she clearly disapproved of it. She said I needed to take the old, like a motorized saw to it, and she's bringing that up. She said in 2 weeks. So we're excited for that, and it'll get a nice little haircut then and probably get much lower in height than what it is right now. She said I did a good minor job, not a major job. So it is what it is. There's some landscaping that I would like to do this year. We're just going to have to wait and see if that gets done or not. Other than that, I don't really have too much major news to share with you on a Sunday night, knock on wood. I watched the Happily Ever After from the people who got married after the 90 days was up. And I read online that Mike and Natalie got divorced. And I'm like or they're separated. They're not divorced yet. They're separated. I'm praying that they work it out. They were my favorite couple on that show. And it was just heartbreaking to see that they're not going to make it. So far, anyway. Miracles do happen. Sometimes people see that you can't always be right, and that sometimes you have to forgive and move on. And when they got married, she told Natalie that forgiveness is a big part of love. And I think that was very moving and very inspirational, and a great thing to be saying during the marriage, because he had to forgive her in order for them to get married. They never really shared what happened there, but he called off the wedding, and then finally they got married before she was to leave the States and go back. I believe it's to Ukraine, where she was from. But it's a very good show, and it draws me in, so that's the main thing. coming up on Sundays in June, whenever Yellowstone starts back in. No, my time will be split between Yellowstone and TLC. I think that is the channel that keeps the 90 Day Fiance stuff going, but it's very good. I love that 90 Day stuff. What else was I going to share with you? There was something else that I can't remember now. That's how my mind's working. This is video 4, so that means we've done 4 videos. That's a good even amount of videos. And I'll keep you updated on the solar situation concerning the lighthouse, if I end up replacing it or not. Like I said, I've seen a lighthouse that is solar, similar, not exactly the same, but similar to the one this one is. And I believe it's cheaper than $20. I think it's $12.97, but of course it's not as big as the one that I bought originally from Lakeside. So we'll just have to see if I end up getting that one or not. But I'll keep you informed. No other major news to share with you. I wish you all the best. I hope you're keeping your 3 feet of social distance, washing your hands when you can't. You're using your hand sanitizer. You're always wearing your mask. There is no excuse not to. You have joy, faith, love, hope in your heart, and prosperity, of course, in the bank and in your heart as well. And, oh, my finger is peeling. That's not good. What was I getting ready to say? My brain, as you can clearly see, I'm having brain dysfunction tonight. I hope that you do something good for someone else, and that the only 2 words you take as payment is thank you. And if they say, how can I repay you, say, just do a good deed for someone else. Speaking of good deeds, before I let you go, there was an inquiry in the inbox on my email about my hair. How much longer are we going to go, and when is enough enough? Well, it hasn't bothered me. Now, it's bothered my family, my mom, my grandpa, but honestly, it hasn't bothered me at all. And that's the funny thing, because usually by now I'm like going, okay, it's too long, I've got to go get it cut. I'm saying that I would like to keep the length long until August 3rd, and that'll probably be the longest I've ever had it. At which time, after my birthday, or around my birthday, probably after though, because I would probably want to keep it as long as I can until the 3rd. I would like to find somebody local to donate my hair to. Now that means they're either terminal, they have a cancer diagnosis, they have some sort of need or reason for physical human hair. I would prefer it to be a young child to a young adult, and so either, someone that's frequented a hospital, like, say, Sarah Bush or Carl, or even Effingham, but somewhere local, where, they have someone who is in the need of a hair donation. I would be willing to donate my hair if they want to make it into a wig. And that's the only thing I would love to do, is find somebody that I can help. And I don't expect anything in return other than a thank you and gratitude that they would do something nice for someone else in need as well, if ever asked. And I think that's the only thing that we can do, is try to make this world a better place and try to look for a positive instead of a negative. And that's what I'm trying to do with my hair donation. Usually I donate it and I send it away in the mail. But this time I want it to stay right here in Central Illinois, and I want to help someone in need. So if you are aware, or maybe yourself would like a hair donation for yourself, it has to be for yourself, or for someone in need, rather than being sent away, like to these various hair corporations that take donations. Like I've done 3 other donations in the past where I've had to send it away. This time I would like to see it go locally. Work with me. Help me find someone that I can help make their life a little brighter and give them a little hope. That's what I'm praying for the most. It's just like I watched that show tonight, Happily Ever After, the Married at First Sight, or not Married at First Sight, but after 90 days they have to get married. And I read online where Mike and Natalie are separated now, and that's so disheartening and so sad, because I loved their relationship. I mean, yes, it was fiery and it had its moments of like a roller coaster. Are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it? But I honestly thought that they had that passion enough to make it. And not saying that they're not going to just because they're separated. Because let's not forget, he called the wedding off first. We never really did find out what made him call off the wedding. But during the wedding, the preacher even said that forgiveness is a big part of being in love. And that you can't look for faults. You have to be able to forgive everyone and love everything and everyone, everything and anything about them that makes them a whole person. So if you have that kind of love, then you can make that love last and make it work for eternity. And I thought that was so beautiful and honestly so heartfelt that, you have to really be able to go, okay, this person made a mistake, but am I going to hold them to the fire forever, or am I going to forgive them? Because the only one that you're hurting is yourself when you don't forgive them. And that was just such a big moment on that show. Of course, all the couples are fascinating to watch, but Mike and Natalie was my favorite. I'm still, a little bit drawn in with them bringing back some of the previous couples from other shows on there. Like we get to see Angela and Michael from Nigeria, and I don't know. That seems like that relationship is so. He's in Nigeria, she's here in the States. I pray for them to make that relationship work, but I see them struggling right now as well. But sometimes you have to go through that struggle in order to overcome. So hopefully they overcome their struggles. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share tonight. I'm, again, going to wish you a good farewell. So I wish you faith, hope, and love, and joy, prosperity in your heart and in your bank. Make sure you're washing your hands when you can't wash your hands. You got your hand sanitizer. You're always wearing your mask. And I will say this before I let you go. One of my friends were like, did you name that mower after Rip Wheeler? I was like, why? And she's like, well, you named that lawnmower Big Wheel or something like that. I said, I never thought of that. But I guess, I kind of did because I went Beth Dutton on the lawn. Ha ha. There's a good Yellowstone Sunday joke for you about lawn and my handsome hunk of Rip Wheeler, which, by the way, I got to watch season 3 again last night by accident. It was late at night. I had done everything I needed to in the house, so it was time for some me time after my workout and after doing my videos with you. So I went to the front room, and I went to go turn in the video. And as soon as I did, it pulled up season 3. I think it's disc 3. And the very first one was the beating on that one. Now, by the beating, we get to see the cows that were taken away in a trailer, but we don't really know by who. And, but my favorite part of that episode is when Rip is having to ride in that long car ride. And Mia, I believe that's her name, says, you want to listen to some music? And he's like, I want to listen to air conditioning. I'm thinking to myself, Rip, you're showing your age. But it was very entertaining and one of my favorite episodes. But I like when he comes back from his long day at work and Beth is sitting there waiting on him and he's just not saying a word. He goes in and gets a beer. He drinks one beer and she's like, how was your day? And he's like, not yet. And then drinks another beer and comes up to her and he returns the favor and asks how her day was. And then, of course, they get engaged. But we're all waiting to see if that engagement actually goes to a marriage because of the fiery ending of season 3, where there was a bomb that went off in her office. So hopefully there's a wedding, but we'll have to wait and see for season 4. Speaking of waiting to see, we just got to wait and see what this week and what this weather, because you never know, we may get snow again, holds, Hopefully we're out of the snow, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. My views have been up. Subscribers have been up for whatever reason. I hope it's good intentions and not evil and not ill-hearted. I wish all the best for you all and nothing less. God bless. Hope to see you tomorrow.